Welcome to the Reddit Guy channel, where interesting and unbelievable stories unfold. Let's dive in. Story 1. Am I the asshole for ruining a wedding? My wife and I own a catering company. Our oldest son is 15 years old and helps a lot with events. He's autistic, but he's very capable when he's properly accommodated. We were contracted to cater both a rehearsal dinner and a wedding. The rehearsal dinner was much smaller than the wedding. With just me, my wife, and our oldest son, we could handle the entire rehearsal dinner without hiring any employees and save a good amount of money. The wedding planner had also hired a bartender to serve drinks, since we do not offer alcohol service. Our son was setting up tables and chairs while my wife and I unloaded the food. The bartender asked my son to help unload boxes of wine. My son said no. The bartender offered to tip him, and my son explained that he cannot touch alcohol. The bartender accused him of being difficult, and my son began ignoring him, which is how he responds when he feels stressed. The bartender continued trying to talk to him. When my son kept ignoring him, the bartender grabbed my son by the shoulder and shook him. My son immediately ran to me and told me what happened. I called the police. The bartender argued with me, but I kept telling him to wait for the police to arrive. My son went to my wife. When the bartender found out my son was only 15 years old, he got nervous and left before the police arrived. After a deputy showed up, I explained what happened. While I was talking to him, the wedding planner arrived and demanded to know what was going on. I asked her to wait until I finished speaking with the deputy. My wife and son had already gone back to setting up after the bartender left. The wedding planner insisted I talk to her immediately. The deputy told her she had to wait. She stood nearby and listened to the entire conversation. I explained everything to the deputy. Since he did not witness the incident, he said there was nothing he could do, but told me to call if the bartender returned. After the deputy left, the wedding planner called the bartender and asked him to come back. He refused, saying he was afraid I would call the police again. In the end, the rehearsal dinner had great food, but no alcohol. The wedding planner asked us to serve the wine and beer the bartender had brought. We refused because we do not offer alcohol service, we are not licensed to serve alcohol, and the alcohol did not belong to us. After the dinner, the wedding planner lost it. She said we ruined the event and told us we were fired. I clarified that she did not want us to show up the next day to cater the wedding. She confirmed that she did not. I said, okay, and we left. Our son had actually filmed our conversation. I watched the video when we got home, and she was very clear about firing us. At 4 in the morning, she called and demanded we come cater the wedding anyway. I reminded her she fired us. She said we had already been paid and had to show up regardless. I told her she fired us. She threatened to sue. I told her to go ahead and sue and that I had her on video firing us. We did not cater the wedding. I later heard from the DJ that they ended up ordering pizza. Apparently, the wedding planner screamed at the bride for half an hour about it. I do feel a little bad because the bride did nothing wrong. Maybe I was being petty and should have shown up anyway. We did not return the money as per our contract, and we either ate or donated the food that had already been prepared. I know legally I did nothing wrong, but I still feel like a bit of a jerk. Let's take some comments. Commenter 1. This falls entirely on the bartender and the wedding planner. You covered yourself, not the asshole.
Commenter 2.
The couple should look into clawing back the lost money from the planner. Commenter 3. Absolutely. I would send the video to the bride and groom and explain everything clearly. It is a lot easier to replace a bartender than a caterer in 24 hours. Personal commentary. This story is infuriating, especially because a child was physically assaulted and somehow the focus shifted to appearances instead of safety. The wedding planner made a reckless decision and doubled down instead of owning it. Feeling bad for the bride is understandable, but protecting your child will always come first.
Story 2. My girlfriend has been very sad since she found out her ex-boyfriend is getting married. So I'm, a 30-year-old man, have been dating my girlfriend, who is 32, for about 4 months now. Everything was going great between us until she learned that her ex-boyfriend of 9 years was getting married. They broke up in June last year, and we started dating in July this year. We have tons in common and genuinely enjoy each other's company. Last week, one of her old friends, someone who knew her ex, told my girlfriend that he was getting married to his new girlfriend. My girlfriend was shocked, to say the least. After her friend left, she went on Facebook and spent almost an hour looking through his profile. Okay, I understood that. He was a long-term boyfriend, so curiosity made sense. But ever since that day, she has been really sad and stressed. She keeps spending her time on Facebook looking through everything about her ex and his bride-to-be. When I finally asked her if he was the one who got away, she denied it. She said something along the lines of, "I just want to see what's special about her." She insists she is not pining for him. She says he did not treat her well and that even if he asked her to come back, she would not. In fact, she told me he reached out to her multiple times after their breakup, and she turned him down every single time. So, Reddit, my question is this. If you do not love him anymore, then why be so sad about his marriage? Why keep obsessing over his bride-to-be? What am I missing here? Comments. Commenter 1. He strung her along for 9 years and is marrying a girl he only recently met. That is probably where her sadness is coming from. Why was she not good enough to get a commitment like marriage? What does this girl have that she does not? It's not logical, but that's probably what's running through her mind. Commenter 2. Yeah, especially if it's a guy who tore down her self-esteem. Commenter 3. It was a huge part of her life for 9 years, so it's understandable that she's grieving. Not that she wants him back, but that he moved on so efficiently. 9 years with someone usually means you expected to spend the rest of your life together. It doesn't mean she wants him back, but 1 year after a whole decade of emotional investment, what she's going through makes sense. Reply from OP. You might be right. I don't know all the details of their breakup, but she did say they broke up because they couldn't agree on the future. She has mentioned to me that she wants to be married and have kids. Putting those together, the situation might be exactly what you described. And honestly, her ex sounded like a tool. He made 5 times her salary, but they always split expenses 50-50. On our first date, I took her to a fancy restaurant that I had wanted to visit for a long time. We had a great time, but the next day she called me, apologized, and said she would only be able to pay her half of the meal in installments because she didn't have that much cash. It took me a moment to realize she was talking about the dinner. I told her I invited her, so it was my treat. Then she explained her ex used to make her transfer her share after every outing they had throughout their entire relationship. It was weird, but I didn't probe further since it was just after our first date. Update. I received a lot of advice on my last post, and most of it was genuinely helpful. Many commenters shared their own painful experiences, which really opened my eyes. Some comments were typical Reddit advice, telling me to break up, and one person even called me a cucumber, which honestly made me laugh. After reading everything, I decided the best course of action was to talk to her. I went to her favorite restaurant, got her favorite dish packed, and went to her apartment. When she came out, I told her that I couldn't pretend to understand what she was going through because it was something deeply personal. I told her that while I respected her feelings, as her boyfriend, I did have one request. I told her she was allowed to be sad, but she was not allowed to be hungry. If she was going to be sad, she needed to be sad on a full stomach with her favorite food. That made her emotional. She apologized and said she hadn't been the best girlfriend that week. She explained that it hurt seeing someone she spent 9 years with, someone who gave her excuse after excuse, suddenly disregard everything he once claimed to believe. She told me they never lived together, never went on holidays, never discussed engagement or marriage. He even got upset if she texted him while he was working. He always said marriage was archaic and that he would never participate in it. He also looked down on age gap relationships. Now he's marrying someone 8 years younger, living with her and traveling with her. She said she didn't want him back. She said she had already upgraded to a much higher level, meaning me, but the pain came from realizing she wasted 9 years of her life. I hugged her and told her that if she needed a shoulder to cry on or someone to talk trash about her ex with, I could do both. We laughed. Before I left, she asked if she could stay with me for a few days because she didn't want to be alone. I said yes. She's currently setting up her workstation in my spare room while I write this update. She'll be staying with me all week. Comments. Commenter 1. There's a scene in When Harry Met Sally that didn't make sense to me at 9 years old, but rewatching it at 35, right before my long-term boyfriend got engaged to someone he had just met, it finally clicked. It wasn't that I wanted him back, it was wondering why I wasn't good enough for marriage after all that time. Therapy helps. Commenter 2. Men who marry immediately after a 10-year relationship are usually trying to prove something. It's not emotional growth, it's ego. Commenter 3. I'm convinced some of them do it just to prove they were not the problem, while quietly twisting the knife in their ex. Here's what I think. This story isn't about wanting an ex back. It's about grieving wasted time and broken promises. When someone suddenly gives another person everything they denied you for years, it can destroy your sense of self-worth. The real takeaway here is emotional healing, communication, and recognizing that moving on doesn't always mean the pain disappears overnight.
Story 3. My parents are livid because I am not allowing them to see my daughter after they spanked her. Am I the asshole? I created this account just to talk about this because it seems like everyone in my family, except my wife, is on my parents' side. For context, I live abroad, and this is only the second time my family has ever met my daughter. My wife, who is 28, and I, also 28, flew down for the holidays and an extended vacation so our daughter, who is 3, could see my home country, Brazil, and have a fun and different experience. We spent New Year's at my parents' house with extended family. Everything seemed to be going well until January 3rd. That day, my wife and I left the house to run some errands and left our daughter alone with my parents. My daughter is very smart. She loves talking, she is sweet, but she is also opinionated, and we encourage that. We want her to know her voice and her thoughts matter, and that we are always there to listen. My parents, however, seemed to disagree. While we were out, my mother called me and said my daughter was being disrespectful. I asked what she was doing, and she said my daughter was arguing about the cartoon they had picked for her to watch. She wanted to watch something else that they did not know. I understand that children cannot always get what they want, but I did not see the harm in this, especially since I do not fully trust whatever they might choose for her to watch due to certain ideological differences we have. So I sent my mother a link to a YouTube series my daughter likes and asked her to put that on instead. I also asked her to tell my daughter that Mom and Dad would be back soon to talk to her. My mother then told me she had already taken care of it. I was confused and asked what she meant. She followed up by saying she had spanked my daughter to teach her not to argue. Needless to say, I was furious. I hung up the phone, told my wife what happened, and we immediately dropped everything and drove back. We do not spank. We never have, and we never will. As someone who was spanked frequently for unnecessary and stupid reasons, I know it does not work and only harms the child. And yes, I had already made this clear to my parents. When we arrived, there was a very ugly argument. I stayed firm. They had no right to do that, and I was not taking it lightly. My parents are extremely strict in their ways and refused to apologize or even acknowledge they had done anything wrong. If not for the spanking itself, then at least for doing it without my permission. Long story short, we packed up and left that same day. I called the hotel in the next city we were visiting and booked a room earlier than planned. We were originally supposed to leave about a week later. I made it very clear to my parents that I did not want to hear excuses.
I sent them articles on parenting and child abuse and told them I would not be talking to them or allowing them to talk to or see my daughter again until they read the articles, contacted me, apologized, and acknowledged that what they did was horrible and wrong. Fast forward to now, it has been over 2 weeks, and all I have heard from them are enraged complaints. They insist they knew what they were doing because they did it to me and I turned out fine, so it must work. They say I am being ridiculous and unfair, that they were only trying to help, and that they don't get to see my daughter often because I live abroad. I have received calls from my sister, who is very similar to them, from my sister's husband, from his father, from 2 of my uncles, my father's brothers, and even from some cousins. Everyone says I should forgive and forget because they had good intentions and don't get to see my daughter often. We had plans to spend a few more days with my parents in early February before our flight home, but I canceled those plans. I still don't think I am wrong, but I can partially see their argument about not seeing her often, though I'm still not inclined to give in. Am I the asshole? Update. This post received much more attention than I expected. I showed it to my wife and we decided to block everyone who has been calling or texting us about the situation. We are going to enjoy the rest of our vacation in peace. Once we are back home, I plan to call my parents one last time to explain why what they did is unacceptable. I will not allow them to ever be alone with my daughter again, and unless I can clearly see that they have learned and changed, they will not be seeing her at all. I will keep them muted and only contact them if something urgent happens in the family. I have also seen comments debating spanking children. I truly believe this is a discussion we shouldn't even be having anymore. Spanking or any physical punishment is abuse. There is never an excuse for violence. If a child is too young to reason with, they won't understand why you are hitting them. If they are old enough to reason with, then reason with them. Comments. Commenter 1. Your child, your rules. And by the way, they have barely seen this child since she was born, and their idea of bonding with a toddler they barely know is to hit her? That is a terrible way to build a relationship. Reply from OP. Unfortunately, they do not know much about developing healthy relationships, or they believe they have authority over her, which I am trying to make clear they do not. Commenter 2. I rarely advocate this, but it sounds like you may need to distance yourself, not only your child from them, but yourself as well. If they don't respect your boundaries as a parent, they don't respect you. You have to protect your child, even if that means choosing between her safety and the rest of your family. Commenter 3. When they say you turned out fine because of corporal punishment, have you ever replied with, I turned out so convinced you parented me badly that I refuse to raise my own child that way. I turned out fine enough to want better for my daughter. This is my opinion about the story. This story is about boundaries, not punishment. Good intentions never excuse crossing parental rules, especially when it involves physical harm. Protecting a child sometimes means standing firm against family pressure, even when it hurts, because safety and trust must always come first.
Story 4. I left my husband for another man. Karma is hitting me. I made a choice that I truly believed was about love, about a better relationship, about a better future. I left my husband, the man who had committed to me, for someone else, and this new man encouraged it, constantly telling me that I deserved better. My husband wasn't perfect. He didn't fully meet my needs. He didn't want to change, and I often felt unseen. But now I know something for sure. He would never have done this to me. Then this other man came into my life. He was exciting, affectionate, better educated, with a better job. He was smart, charming, and made me feel like I had finally found the one. He helped me cook, helped around the house, treated me with love, always reminding me that I deserved everything.
He talked about the future, a house, a baby, a life together, and it felt real. We rented a house, bought a car, furnished the living room and bedroom, bought kitchen appliances. It felt like we were truly building a life together, and I trusted it completely. We were long distance at first, trying to figure out whether I would move or he would. Eventually, he packed up everything and moved from another country to be with me. Then, he left. After just 8 months, he was gone. And suddenly, the future I had built in my mind didn't exist anymore. He told me the age gap was too much, that he didn't see a future without losing himself, that he stopped doing things he loved because he spent too much time talking to me. He even said his relationship with his daughter suffered because he gave me too much attention. I was shocked, and honestly, this feels like karma. He's distant now, barely talks to me. Slowly, I'm starting to realize this may just be his way of making leaving easier. I left a committed relationship for someone who wasn't willing to fight for us in the end. Now I'm here, heartbroken, trying to live with my choice, my sadness, and the painful realization of what I've lost. Top comments. Commenter 1. The grass is not greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. Commenter 2. I don't condone cheating, but your taste in men is terrible. Please stay single and work on yourself for a while. Commenter 3. This is called monkey branching. Starting a relationship through cheating rarely works. People who create their own drama earn their own karma. Thanks for staying to the end. If you enjoyed the stories, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more interesting Reddit stories.